Hello!
Morning, good morning.
Show.
Welcome one and all. Morning, Dawn.
Good morning, Nick. You've already brightened my day, my darling.
Well, it is Brighten Your Day with Dawn and Nick.
Beautiful.
How was your weekend, my lovely?
I had a very nice weekend. Yeah, relaxed, chilled. Nice weekend. Nice weekend. And I enjoyed the rain last night. I love rain.
Ah, yes,
Love it.
absolutely. You can't knock rain.
It's beautiful. How was your weekend?
Well, I had a healing workshop yesterday. 24 people there.
Right, well done, you. Fabulous.
Talking about healing and developing our healing abilities, and talking about all the various different aspects that can and shouldn't influence our healing abilities.
Yes.
Possibly one of my more controversial workshops that I do, because of my certain views and opinions on what people say and do. And but you know, it was all very well received for the most part, and we had a good time, and we all did my 10-pin bowling healing at the end. And
was some of your 10-pin your 10 pins a little bit hurt? They need healing at the end.
Well, what we do, I'm sure other people have done this in the past. I call it mine because I've only ever seen, my guides tell me to do it, but I'm sure other people. In fact, the joys of being on SPtv. Have you ever done this?
Exactly.
My guides told me to get everyone to sit like pins in 10-pin bowling. And you've got the one at the front,
big massive boulder knocks a lot of them down.
The two behind, one on each shoulder, three behind, hands on each shoulder.
Oh yes, I know. We used to call that the healing train.
The healing train. Oh, I like that. That sounds better than 10-pin bowling. That's for sure.
It depends where your schooling is, doesn't it?
Exactly.
What you've done in your life.
So yeah, they got me doing that, and everyone seems to enjoy it. So it's become a permanent feature of the workshop. And and we had the person up front.
Morning, Wendy.
Morning, Wendy Lindsay. Hello.
Wendy Lindsay says morning, Dawn and Nick.
So yeah, we had somebody holding a bag of crystals, and then everyone got a crystal to take home. A pendant.
Oh, that's so nice.
So there we are. So yeah, that was pretty much my weekend. But
that sounds lovely. Well, I had some really lovely meditations and just good times. Yeah, good weekend.
Fabulous.
Into the autumn now, which is my favourite time.
Yes, definitely.
Kim, good morning, my love.
Good morning, Kim. How are you doing? So everyone, hope you had a good weekend. Say good morning. We'll say it back. Sophie, Eleanor, sending the glorious love of spiritual.
Thank you.
Fabulous.
Amen.
Let me swap my glasses so I can actually read.
Fiona Rosen, forgive me if I'm saying that wrong. Morning, all, hope you are well. We're very well here at SPtv. Aren't we, Nick?
Morning, Fiona. Absolutely spiffing. Michelle Kidd, hello from New Zealand.
Fabulous.
We have reached as far as we can without leaving the planet.
We have, without leaving our own sofas.
Absolutely.
Oh, and we have Zavisa Landers, Dawn and Nick, many blessings to you. And she is coming all the way from California.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Already a very international theme. Carolyn Thomas, hello from South Africa. Hello, South Africa. Wonderful.
Hello. I love this.
It's great, isn't it?
This. Samantha Angela writes, good morning, Nick and Dawn, from Hannah, Samantha and Henry. And Angela, as I read I'm just going to say this really quickly. As I read your name, Angela, I know it doesn't say angel, but I want to tell you that you have some angel wings over your head right now. You've got a lady who is around you, and she's sending you her love. So if you need this at the moment, I just want to say that to you.
Can I just be very honest? Yes, she does, because of all the distances we've reached, she is a mile that way. Diane Burston, good morning. Hope everyone is well. Sun shining here in Gloucester.
Just embracing my island while listening to you.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
Fantastic. Stacey Shaw, good morning, Richard, Nick and Dawn, everyone in the chat, and hope we have a good weekend. And I do believe that this young lady's on the station this Wednesday, is it?
Yes. Absolutely.
Lovely.
Looking
Stacey,
forward to seeing Stace.
nice
Seeing
one,
Stace.
Stacey. Stace.
Kelly Rocket. Oh, I love Kelly Rocket. Hi, everybody. With the
Hello, and a lovely sunflower. You know how much a sunflower means to us all. Melanie Whelans. Hi, everyone. Hello. You know, if you give me a heart, I'll give you one back.
Purple Heart Brigade.
Yes, we are.
Catty S. Good morning. Hello, Dawn, Nick, and every beautiful soul in chat from Queensland, Australia.
Away from Australia. That's the hearts back to you, my love. Ruby Brock. That's a cool name. Good morning. And last week I thought that was a lemon with 2 green leaves, but it's not. It's a wave of I'm going, oh, there's so many lemons. That's nice. I guess if life gives you lemons, you make lemonade, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Now there is a story about lemons. I'll tell you one day when it's referring to speaking for spirit.
That brings us to the theme of our show.
Oh, you are good. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Rebecca Whelan, hearts back to you, my lovely girl. Lovely, lovely, lovely. So.
And Natalie Bentley Greenheart.
Oh, are you from Ireland by any chance, Natalie?
Ooh.
Okay. Pamela Watson, evening from Australia, New South Wales. Hello.
Wow. Wow.
Fantastic.
My cousin is in the old North Wales, but that's another story. And Julie Ramsden. Butterflies and prayers and rainbows. I love it.
Check my efforts there. That's supposed to be a butterfly, but it looks like a bird. Anyway,
we do have butterflies at the end of the shows on SPtv, so you know
it's
absolutely
so that's
tied
very exciting, beautifully.
Absolutely. And speaking of tying in beautifully, we really don't want to miss your wonderful link in there, which I thought was wonderful. I know Anne McLaren, who said good morning to yourself and Richard and myself, will want to know what the theme of the day is.
Yes. So our theme of today is mythology and superstition, which is a really exciting topic. I love this. And we were talking about it yesterday, weren't we, Nick?
We were.
And it's just, you were looking at a moon, you said.
Yes, it was because yesterday, of course, was the ram moon.
The ram moon.
Yes, full moon. It was the ram moon. Everyone was talking about it at the workshop. And I was just stood there drifting space and looking up, and it reminded me of all of the mythology and superstition that we have in our way of life as much as any other way of life, all ways of life. And of course, mythology and superstition technically are 2 very different things.
They're 2 very different things.
Mythology is a legendary story, usually with a moral or a principle behind it, based on folk tales and folklore, whereas a superstition is a belief. Based on observation in a supernatural way of the universe and the strange and scary things that we get out of that. Yes. And how quite often superstitions and mythologies have these tie-ins, of course. But the thing about superstitions, I find, is that they can be completely opposite sometimes, depending on your culture. Whereas mythology stories tend to have a similar characteristic, and it's just a different way of telling the same story. For example, if you look at the Creathan mythos of various different cultures, they're all told very differently, but frequently have the same theme and traceability in them. But superstitions, I mean, perfect example, black cat.
Yeah. There's two meanings behind that. Oh, you know the 2 as well, don't you?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. Well, firstly, we have witches. If you believe in witches, that dark belief in witches, that they would normally have a familiar, and a familiar would often take the form of a domestic animal, i.e., a black cat. So to cross a black cat's path would of course be terrifying and unlucky. But we also have the superstition of it being well, there's another meaning. Hang on, I do have because I've got something else that maybe a white familiar. What was that? There was another one I had as well. I can't think of it now.
So in some cultures it's a bad luck, and in other cultures it's
good
actually
luck.
good luck. It's good
That's
luck.
right. That's right. Because that's what I was going to say, and I completely forgot. Some people give them at weddings, like a little picture of a black cat or something like that, or a soft toy black cat. So they can be lucky, or they can. But we have the ancient Egyptians who revered cats.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So it can be, you know, it can be good and it can be bad.
And my personal favourite of that particular variety is sneezing. Because in this country, certainly we couldn't make up our mind anyway. Around about the sixth century, you would say "bless you" when someone sneezed, because they were expelling the demonic energy. Roll forward to the bubonic plague, and the Pope decided that you would say "bless you" if you sneezed, because it meant that you were going to die soon.
Yes.
However, if you look at Jewish tradition, you were to say certain walks of the tradition, it was actually God agreeing with whoever was talking at the time when you sneezed. And you would say, depending on if you were Hebrew or Yiddish, emet, which is the Hebrew, or ames, which is the Yiddish. And it means the truth. So it meant that if you sneezed, the spirit world was agreeing with you. Whoever was talking at the time. So two very, very polar opposites there. One is you're going to kick the bucket, and the other one is you're actually speaking the truth.
Yes.
And that's where superstition kind of fizzles and reacts and causes all differences. I mean, my mum's favourite superstition is that nobody's allowed to wear green. It's bad luck.
We talked about that very briefly in another show, didn't we?
So everyone at home, what are your superstitions, your mythologies, your favourites, your interests? Talk about them. Tell us about them. We will discuss them. You might get a reading at the same time. You know, let's have an open mic afternoon.
See, I love the super. There's so many that I grew up with my mum and my grandparents. And growing up with my grandparents, there's so many stories. And one that I always loved is covering up a mirror. We never did that, but it was famous. You in the deep south, Southern America, you would cover up a mirror when a person died.
Yes.
And the reason behind, and I always wondered why that was, and I recently found out that the reason behind that is because we believe in modern, well, we know in modern society that the mirror has your reflection, but they believed it held your reflection, therefore it held your soul, told facets of your soul. So to cover up the mirror when the person died was to stop your soul being trapped inside the mirror forever.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa.
Speaking of mirrors, there's also the 7 years bad luck. Do you know where that came from?
Yes. Hang on a minute. I believe I do. Isn't that the same thing as having the it's a folklore, isn't it? It's the reflection of the image.
No.
Is it not? Give that to me, please.
The absolute original, based on what research I've done, is because when this was founded, mirrors were so damned expensive that it would cost you 7 years of wages if you made the mirror in the factory. It would cost you 7 years of wages to pay for it if you broke it.
I thought it stemmed from the same thing as breaking as
so did I.
Covering the mirrors up with the.
So did I.
Now, Stacey Shaw, she says, I have a book of Aboriginal stories from Australia, all with different moral foundations, like how the crow lost its colour because he was rude, selfish, and bad-mannered. I love these little stories.
Yeah.
See, that's what we're saying about the difference between mythology and superstition. Myths, i.e. stories, were told to keep us in our place so we behaved ourselves. Do this, do that, and then you won't get in trouble. Nothing bad will happen to you. And this is a way of teaching children. They give you a little story about a crow who lost its colour. It's great. I love it. Wendy Lindsay says, yes, if a black cat crosses our path, it's good luck. And I still say this.
Absolutely.
Some people say it's good, some people say it's bad.
I'm on your side, Wendy. Whenever I see a black cat trying to cross the path in front of me,
oh, good luck.
I slow down to make sure that it does. You know, quite often
cross the road to stand its path and go, I'm here.
Half the time, though, it just looks at me and goes,
yeah,
and wanders off the opposite direction, the little what's it. But never mind. Linda Brown, hello, mother. I had a
hello. Hello to my mum as well. I know you're watching.
Hello, Dawn's mum. Hello, my mum. Hello, every mum.
Yes.
I had a sixpence put in my wedding shoes for good luck. Do you know? I didn't know that. So I look behind there.
Well, you put the sixpence in the Christmas pudding, don't you?
That's true. Yes, of course.
Oh. Broom sweep. It was Savisa Landers. She said broom sweeping the feet. Sweeping the feet. Superstition in family. Okay.
Wow. Yes. There's brooms are heavily used in superstition.
You jump over the broomstick when you get married, don't you?
Yes. Yeah. Melanie Whelans, when I was young, I was
new
shoes on a table's back. Yes. Also, if a bird came down your chimney, there would be a death in the family. Wow. I haven't heard that one. That's a new.
No, I haven't.
Well, thank you, Melanie.
Yes, thank you very much, Melanie. There is, I was always told by my grandparents, never put up an umbrella in the house. Incredibly bad luck.
Oh, yes.
But they could never tell me why. I always just thought it must be so that you don't break something, but apparently there was way back in the like witching times and stuff, there was a lady who put up her mirror in her house, and then a few moments later the house crumbled down around her.
Wow.
And another one that's connected to that is how a prince accepted 2 umbrellas from a king that was traveling, and within about 2 months later he died.
Wow.
Whether he put the mirror up, whether we put the umbrella up in his house, we do not know.
We do not, but it sounds like he might have done, if that's to be believed. So, and this is it. There are so many different cultural and personal experiences and influences that impact, and they kind of all get melded together and added together to create this mythos, this mystique, this magic. Catty S, my family are very much still into covering up mirrors when someone passes, and when they're not in use. We also don't place new shoes on tables and not opening up a brolly under a roof as well. Yeah, and this is the thing, everyone has these influences, and we do them, and we don't necessarily always know why. I mean, some of them are really quite obvious, like not walking under a ladder. Well, it's obvious you're going to get a pot of paint smacking your head down.
There is a superstition behind that, though.
There is. Go for it. We want to hear it.
We're here. You've got the Christian Trinity. Okay, so when you put the ladder up against the wall, you're making, and you've got the floor there. You're making a 3. You're making the triangle. So to walk underneath the ladder would be seen as being blasphemous. And also it's very, very similar to the gallows, the medieval gallows.
Absolutely, and nobody wanted to be stuck under one of those. And it is. There's so many. There's just so many influences. Julie Ramsden, I stood on a big fat toad. I believed it was means things cut was my garden.
Sorry, what?
Cut was my. Can we have some clarification on that?
Can we please?
Because I'm. It's very early. I had a late night.
Kim Burns, she says, if you buy someone a purse, I remember this from child. If you buy someone a purse, always put a coin in it to make sure it's always full. You're absolutely right.
Yes.
We're coming back now.
Yes. In actual fact, there's another more, slightly more modernly used, but very old fashioned one. Put a piece of citrine in your purse and it will never be empty.
Oh.
Well, of course it won't, because there's a piece of citrine in it. But you're never going to spend that. But apparently it's supposed to attract money. So, you know, and so that it shows the carryover of cultures, because all of the traditions of using crystals is certainly not anyway a Western culture.
It's not Western culture in the slightest.
And yet we have our own versions of them, and they all start to cross interbreeding superstitions, I believe, is the best way of putting it. I love it. I love it.
Well said.
Diane Burston. I spent my childhood frightened to stand on cracks in the pavement. Yes. As it brought bad luck and could never walk under a ladder. I was given a piece of coal at my wedding day, as chimney sweeps were supposed to bring luck. It didn't. Bless you. And this is the thing.
Bless you. Did you just say bless you?
I did. But she didn't sneeze, so I didn't mean the first one. As in, yes, must be careful. Bemet. Do you know, I'd forgotten that cracks on the pavement one. Yeah. I was like that.
Wendy Watson, she says, yes, they used to say, step on your back. Yes, I heard that rhyme. Step on your back, break your mother's back. Step on a line, you break your mother's spine. Yes, I've heard that.
Yes. Terrible. Some of the things really quite dark. I mean, a lot of nursery rhymes and a lot of, you know, children's tales were extremely dark.
Black Plague and things, all those nursery rhymes. Awful. Yeah. Sylvester?
Yes, when someone sweeps feet with a broom, it means attracting the law, pull over tickets. Oh, with you now. Okay. There's lots of really, there's some that are really reminding me, some that are really new, and it's so fascinating to hear what people have got to say. You know, and one of my favorite ways of looking at it is that, you know, everyone adds to it. You know, and we do
it's like
that.
Chinese whispers a little bit, isn't it? It goes through the years.
And everyone keeps building it. It's like the river flowing and picking up the sediment as it goes along and eventually blocking it, which we do get blocked by superstitions.
Yes, we do. We do. Joanne Wood, she says, bag on the floor, always be poor. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone. Do not put your bag on the floor, please.
Yes, I recall that. Yeah. You're going to say, don't dance around your bag, love. Don't dance around your bag.
That probably stems just from practicality. If you put your bag on the floor, it's likely to get stolen. Then you will be poor.
Yes, absolutely.
Just cross your fingers, then you should be all right.
Yes, there's that one as well. We as people create new ways of coming up with mythology and moral stories. I mean, if you look at mythology as a story with a moral in it, you know, you've then got people making use of parables. Certainly Joshua Carpenter back in 2000 years ago, he made use of a lot of parables, was quite famous for it at one point, I believe. And then you've got, if you spool really recently, you've got things like He-Man, the original series, where at the end of the episode, one of the characters would come up and say, in today's story, Orko tripped over his handbag. That's because he shouldn't be putting it on the floor. You know, and not that episode ever happened, only in the depths of my really strange and deranged mind. But it's the way of conveying morals to people that I think is really quite the important thing. And I think sometimes we, as much as mythology is mocked and joked about by certain quarters, I think we miss that in society. You know, certainly the He-Man moral of the story.
It's comforting, isn't it? I think, because it kind of takes you back to that era, that time of lack of knowledge, lack of understanding science and things in our world. So we used things like elementals, gods, demigods, and things to, you know, in the, you know, Arthur and the Knights of the Round, all those sort of things. We use all these things to help us understand the world, you know, why is the world, why does our day get darker? Is it because the night eats the sun, God? It's a way of explaining things so that we're not afraid of our world, but it makes us feel comfort, I think.
Absolutely. And it's funny you should mention about the gods and the sun god, twofold on that, really. And I'd be interested to see what people's thoughts on this are, because this might be one of Nick's. We need a big warning graphic, Richard.
Nick's thoughts.
Nick's controversial thoughts. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Sun gods.
Sun gods.
People are cool. It was a request, Richard. But
it's all right. We're listening. You guys can't hear. We're listening to a little something from Richard there. Yes.
Oh, I love it. So yes, gods being the sun. We've gone through a process through our history, and we need to come back to throw salt over the shoulder. Thank you, Wendy. We will come back to you. But yeah, when we talk about the gods being like the sun and the elements and everything, we look at the progression of how our religions have developed over the course of millennia. We've gone from the sun being the god to then pantheons reflecting the aspects, to many religions going back to the monotheistic way of thinking. And for the most part, if we look at statistically, really, for the most part, that's been of benefit. But there are certain quarters that have made use of that to create negativity and contention and fear and control and anger and rage and pain. But if you look at it, that original viewpoint of the sun being God, you are seeing a ball of energy, far, far away, looks real close, but is way out of reach. It provides light, it provides warmth, it gives life, it gives strength. It doesn't interfere other than its natural progression of getting closer and further away during the seasons. To me, that really describes the Great Spirit.
Yep.
Better than anything that we can really add now. I like the idea of pantheons because it shows and demonstrates that the Great Spirit's got more aspects to it than we can perceive and understand ourselves. And I think sometimes going back to the reason, like with superstitions and mythologies, going back to the reason why we use these things is a beneficial way of understanding where we came from, how we get here, and where we could potentially go in the future. And I say that by knocking on wood.
On wood. Oh my goodness!
Because knocking on wood goes back to
the nature spirits.
Believing nature spirits, and you were trying to wake up the tree god to ask for good luck. Now, salt over the shoulder.
I never know what I always, because to be on the safe side, I do both because I never know which one it is.
Traditionally, it's the left. The only reason I believe that is because most people were right-handed.
Oh yeah.
So I don't really think it matters. I mean, let's face it, it's the same. It's the same as spilt milk and spilt salt. You're not going to throw the spilt milk over your right hand shoulder. You're just not supposed to cry over it. But throwing salt over your shoulder is another example of we do it, but we don't know why. I mean, how? And this is no detraction because
you don't want to upset the universe. That's why you
absolutely. But this is the thing. I mean, I know quite a lot of atheists, and you would be surprised to know that I'm very, very friendly with atheists, being a religious person that I am. But the thing is, they make a lot of sense when they're talking and critically analysing some of the stuff we come out with. And so I keep them very, very close to keep me grounded. But the amount of atheists who say "bless you" when you sneeze.
Or blow out their birthday candles.
And it's because we all, religious or non-religious, really just do this because we've seen it done. It's become part of our culture, and it is ingrained in our DNA, our behaviours and our attitudes. Natalie, quite a good long one here. I found a 4-leaf clover once.
Oh wow.
Wasn't looking for it. Was on my lunch break sitting in the grass and was drawn to it. That Wednesday, I got 5 numbers on the lottery. I'm a believer. Wow. Although I'm not sure it was that brought me luck, or the spirit drew me to it as a Natalie,
Okay.
nail on the head. Is it the item bringing luck?
Yep.
Or is it spirit giving
Yep.
us these signs and portents, these
Absolutely.
indicators? I'd love to hear what everyone would think
I
about.
found a lucky feather. Is it the feather that's lucky, or is it the spirit that have given you luck? It's drawn you to it. How does it work? Yeah.
Ooh, yes, and there is
Yeah.
the placebo effect indeed. Is
Yeah.
it that you're so ingrained with that traditional belief and superstition that you draw the luck into you from the universe, the placebo effect?
Well, look at beginner's luck, for instance. Yeah, someone that's so used to playing a certain game, they never ever lose. They are the best at this game.
Yeah.
And then you get a brand new person that comes along and they're like, and you say beginner's luck to them. And if you really keep that in your mind, when you learn to play a new game, you're more likely to remember the rules of the game, to be fresh at learning all the little tricks and everything. So it'll be ingrained, you will get beginner's luck.
Exactly. And this is why us spiritual folk have our own superstition. I don't want to see because I already know what it means. Nunquam dormient titilandus.
What does that mean?
Never tickle a sleeping dragon. Nunquam dormient titilandus.
I'd say that's probably quite...
Draco nunquam dormient titilandus. Never tickle a sleeping dragon. Draco dormient nunquam titilandus. Never tickle a sleeping dragon. It is from Harry Potter. In actual fact, it is the school motto. It is the Hogwarts motto. And I love it. Is that the
same as let sleeping dogs lie?
Basically, but I mean, I personally would never tickle a sleeping dragon.
It doesn't sound like
I would never tickle anyone sleeping, frankly. Because there are many, and I'm getting thoughts in my head of all the different things that could potentially be. But yeah, I love. Thank you, Stace, for reminding me. Never tickle a sleeping. It is a superstition in its own sense, and it's a new one. Because I don't think those that spoke Latin would have said it themselves. So
probably not.
We can thank JK for that one.
Thank you, Miss Rowling.
And just like the Doctor thanked her for the end of the spell that got rid of the witches in the second season episode. Not that I'm showing how geeky I am.
Wendy Watson.
Wendy,
Rabbit's foot. Unlucky for the rabbit, I would say.
This is the thing. This is the thing. And I'm loving this.
It's fascinating.
And it's nice to see everyone getting involved in sharing it. Yes. So share. Speaking of sharing, don't forget to like and subscribe. Consider VIP as well. I've been loving it. There's lots of chats going in the VIP area on Facebook.
Absolutely love it.
So carry on sharing your thoughts. I'm really quite touched by how much I'm learning.
I know. I tell you a really beautiful one that I do find quite touching, actually. You know how we cross fingers?
Yes.
Yeah? If you make a wish, I should cross my fingers on your behalf. I should do it for you. And this is really touching. The reason for this is I am your friend and this is you. And I am hoping and praying that your wish comes true, and I am giving you my support.
Wow, now that I didn't know. Thank you. I was curious about that one, especially when you mention it. You notice I steered away from that because I didn't know. That's brilliant. I like that. You see, that's nice.
But now even just saying the words, cross fingers, is people don't even do that anymore. They just go, cross fingers.
Yeah, exactly. Julie, I found a feather the other day. I had a golden aura at side of me and got lots of spirit around. Wonderful. And interesting enough, that is very much, I don't know the origins of it, but it's certainly a superstition that we spiritualists have latched onto over the years.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, absolutely.
Finding a feather, the sign of an angel beside you. And
that's beautiful, Dawn. Not heard the one before now.
yeah, no, I hadn't either, Stace. I think I love it. Spirit of love said that's nice, Dawn. See, we learn things. We learn things. Going back to the feather though, is it that an angel has been around, or is it that spirit has decided that bird flying past that particular time is going to molt that feather because you need that symbol?
Yeah.
Or is it random chance? And and this is the thing, people say coincidence all the time. I hate that word because it's so misunderstood.
I don't believe in coincidence personally.
Coincidence literally means two events happening together. Doesn't say anything about whether it's exactly. Doesn't necessarily mean that it's guided or unguided. It just literally means two events happening together. So it leaves the possibility for those two events to happen together by guide or by not. Now, Kelly Rocket, what's with the horseshoe?
Horseshoe. Well, there is a certain way of having it up as well. If you have it up that way, the luck falls out. You have to have it up that way, so it's like a receptacle. It will keep all the luck in.
Yes. And especially engagements and weddings, or horseshoe, always a sign of good luck. I mean, you're supposed to put it over the threshold, but I think if the nail didn't stay in long enough, it wouldn't be very
get concussion.
But I believe that's something to do with, and please, everybody at home, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
So there's no such thing as coincidence. Totally agree. Like I said, it just means two things happening together. Yeah. No such thing as coincidence. This is Diane. It's synchronicity. Absolutely.
Thank you very much, Diane. Absolutely. We have so many intelligent, knowledgeable people on our show.
We do. So perhaps if anyone out there is watching who knows a blacksmith or a shoe horser, a horseshoer, a shoe horser,
a farrier.
Farrier, that's the one. We're getting a message from the Great Spirit.
Yeah. Really? Right. Richard has just said that Richard, our producer, he's just said if a horse is walking along and it sees a white stone, it will freak, it will panic. What is that? What is the reasoning behind that?
He doesn't know. But it does remind me of something, actually.
Anybody who's a horse, who is in the horse business, let us know. Anyone equestrian, let us know the reasoning behind it.
Equestrian. I'm really dodgy with my language today. I do apologise. My horsey people. No,
your horsey people. Why the long face?
I do. There is one related to horses actually that might have some form of connection.
Oh, okay.
The Victorian built tunnel underneath the Thames.
Yes, yes.
They used to build tunnels back in the day where horses and carriages were still used.
Yeah.
They're always got a bend at the end.
Right.
And that's because if a horse was in a tunnel and saw the light, it would bolt.
It would be bright. Oh, I see.
So I wonder if there's a similarity there with a speck of light sticking out.
I thought that was the only thing I could think of as well.
Yeah, they bolt if they're in a tunnel. So the tunnels had a kink in them.
Did not know that. That's fascinating. Fiona Rawson says, after the passing of a very close loved one, I had a reading. They mentioned a yellow dragonfly. No sooner did they say that a massive yellow-winged dragonfly came right on the curtain next to me. You've got to think for yourself there. What's the meaning behind that for you? What is a yellow dragonfly? We've got different meanings there. We've got the meaning of what does a dragonfly mean to you? What's the symbolism behind that? And what about the colour yellow? If you think of yellow roses, they're a way of friendship, aren't they? So there is meaning and reason why the yellow winged dragonfly was important. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Yeah, butterflies.
Change and transformation. Absolutely. If I just may,
please. Is there something you'd like to say?
Yeah, Fiona. It's funny you should say that, because as soon as you said that, I was aware of this connection. And there was I haven't quite built up properly yet because it just kind of like slipped in. So apologies, but this person's coming through and they were very excitable and very, very, you know, wanting to be heard all the time. And what I'm getting from what I'm being shown, just very, very briefly, is that this person, it's in connection with that particular situation, and they're coming through and saying, well, there was a little bit of doubt in Fiona's mind, and I wanted to let them know that I was there. And I was there. And he's like, I'm here. It's obviously someone who would, this person who passed so soon after that you went to this reading. And I do feel that this person would have had problems with speech. I actually started to dribble a little bit, so apologies at home, but I feel that was because they may have had a stroke. But they were very, very excitable and giddy and always wanted to let you know that they were about, and always wanting to grab for attention. And what better way than to take what the medium has been given by spirit and encourage it spiritually to happen. And I do feel that this is just the way of letting.
Says, absolutely.
Oh, bless you, Fiona. Thank you. So, yeah, know that not only was that dragonfly a way of keeping an eye on you, they still keep an eye on you right now. So I hope that was all right for you. God bless you. Just an interjection there.
Interjection. Wonderful. Absolutely. Fiona, you also have a lady in spirit who who passed with cancer. And I hate the word died. It's terrible. She passed with cancer. And you were connected by the heart. It was my twin. Right. Okay. And this person, you were I'm going to say you were connected by the heart, and it was like with the yellow, we're talking my bestest friend. Yeah. You know, my bestest friend. You were connected, and that obviously now you've said it was your twin. So beautiful. Fiona.
Just before this started, you explained what the fingers crossed mean, and it was the supporting of you. And you know what, twice now live on SPtv I've done something that I shouldn't have done, and I want to use this because I share my mistakes as much as I do my successes.
You can't have success without mistake first.
Exactly. And you know, there's one thing that I was always taught as a medium, and this isn't a superstition and this isn't mythology, it's proven fact, trust me. Give what you get. Twice now during a reading, I've held back from saying something that would have been really quite nice and evident. The first one was when we had our psychic artist friend on.
Yes.
I was getting scarred, but I was thinking to myself, but Emily, that's it, Emily, the lovely Emily, when she was doing her psychic art. I got scar, and I kept pushing it away because I thought, no, it's too obvious. Yeah. I'm making it up I pushed it away and regretted it. And again, when I was linking in with this person, and I still wasn't getting a gender, but all I kept doing was looking at Fiona's pictures and thinking, God, they look alike. And if I'd have just said it, wow, that would have been great. So friends, learn from my mistakes. If you get it, do not be afraid. Give it. I've been doing mediumship now for 24 years, and I still kafunga boo-boo. That's my favorite word of the day. I still kafunga boo-boo. I still have doubt in myself. Never spirit. I have doubt in myself. And
this is it. This is what we've got to remember. It's not spirit. Spirit know exactly what they're doing. It's us with our physical minds that are frail, I'm afraid.
Absolutely. So forget doubt, forget fear, forget concern about saying something wrong. Because I mean, we all say stuff wrong. So, oh, well, you know, maybe I misread it, and because it's usually the case. But to actually not say something when it has the potential to bring even more confirmation to the person you are trying to help, your recipient, just give it. Do not be afraid. And I'll try as well, because, you know, like I said, twice now I've done that in the course of a few weeks, and I shouldn't. So friends learn from that.
Debbie Chard Debbie Chard. I'm connecting with Debbie, by the way. Lost my mother on mother-in-law 6th of July. Oh, suddenly. I kept coming across feathers, especially in work. I know she's around me. And my grandson, he's only 5. He said he dreamed of his Granny Glen. She hugged me and kissed me on the cheek, and I had tears in my eyes, I do believe. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. That's really beautiful. Thank you for sharing that with us, Debbie.
Yeah.
Your your mother, I'm talking about her as Gran, so I'm not talking about her on your behalf. I'm talking about you from your son's behalf. As she's coming close to me, I want to say, turn the telly down. The telly's too loud. She would always have the TV up really, really loud. So she obviously she must have been hard of hearing. Okay. She was a very, very funny lady. She had a good sense of humor about her. And she's talking about the clock. She says that she was watching the clock. There was something wrong with the hand. It would either be slow and drop, or it was always not getting time right, she says. But she comes through really lovely, and she comes through. She has an older gentleman with her in spirit as well. So I believe this to be her husband. And I see pinstripe suit. I want to pass that on to you. Pinstripe suit. So he must have been a very smart gentleman.
Yes.
Yes.
XX. Ha ha ha. Yes. Yes. In fact.
Thank you, Debbie. I'm glad you can understand that. That's lovely. Oh, I'm pleased.
Wonderful. This is lovely. This is just,
isn't this nice?
You know, and it reminds me of another superstition that has been co-opted by us spiritual folk. Unfortunately, it started out as a bit of a bad one.
Heart attack. My heart.
Bless.
Sorry. Carry on, please. Sorry.
Oh no. It reminds me. There was quite a negative one that was used against us that we've kind of taken over and made our own again now. The original version was speak someone's name and they shall appear.
Yes.
But what I know is that when you speak the name of spirit, they can hear. Yes, and if there's a couple of what's-its like us hanging around, they'll come and say hello.
A couple of nuts like us.
That's beautiful. It's beautiful the way that you can and you know, Debbie just mentioned one of her superstitions, and suddenly mother was showing herself for her son as well.
They don't lose. This is a big thing that we've always got to remember. Please, if I don't help you with anything else, we don't lose our personalities. When we pass the spirit, we don't end up being all holier than thou and everything and sitting on a cloud and forgetting about things. We listen to our families. We hear you talking. We hear you laughing at parties. We hear you having a joke, you know, and we want to, I say we, well, because I am spirit in a physical form. So it is we. We want to connect with our loved ones. We hear you laughing. We want to join the joke. You're cooking our favorite food. Oh, I wish we, you know, and we want to join in. We don't lose that. So when you think of us, okay, all right, they are speaking directly to me. When you think of us, we are a thought away. We are right there. I had experienced yesterday. I was just, you know, when you're just going through it, you're like, I really wish you were here, you know? And it was literally, I can't remember what I was doing now. I was at a table doing something, and I want my nan. Yeah. I really wanted her. And I'm not kidding you, instantly, boom, she was right there. Right there. I couldn't see her, but she came on me like a really warm bath over the back of my shoulder. And I was like, cheers, Nan.
Yeah,
you know?
It is beautiful. And and it's the same. Yeah, exactly. And it's the same with guides. I mean, my main coordinator in Spirit, Gordon, is a lot less lovey-dovey and sympathetic when I call his name. But I just literally put out his name and said, oh, Gordon, please.
Yeah.
And the first thing will be some kind of catty, sarky, witty comment like, you finally remembered I was here then. What? You knew that you could call upon me. And And occasionally it's, what do you want this time? It's such a lovely, fun relationship.
Bless you. Thank you.
Debbie, bless you. And it was such a lovely reach out. And she also said that that's what my grandson kept saying, where are you, Nanny Glenn? And she heard, so she let beautiful. I think beauty is what we can take out of when we hear about mythology and superstition in particular. We can take our own beauty and make our own beauty out of these things, especially the myths, not so much maybe the superstition, but there are some beautiful superstitions out there, some positive ones.
Absolutely.
Catty S.
She's become a VIP member. Yay! When someone becomes a VIP member, we should have one of those things that you pull and it pops.
It's something that explodes and goes poof on the screen. You know,
goes poof. Doesn't sound very exciting, but it goes poof.
I suppose that's one way of describing me, but there we go. We'll move on quite brightly, because I think now might be an excellent time,
shall we?
To have a commercial break and see what's coming up in the joyful family of SPtv.
Brighten your day. See you in a minute.
Are you planning a paid spiritual event, or looking for something to do this weekend? Then visit myspiritualevents.com. You can browse the listing, view the event details, watch a YouTube clip, look at a mini gallery, select dates and times, pay for tickets using PayPal or your debit card. Organizers can register for free and start selling tickets within minutes, be it for their online or in-person spiritual event. As an organizer, you will have access to your own admin dashboard, which will display information such as your income and your bookings, all in a simple and user-friendly display. It's free to use. Join and upgrade to an organizer. Come and visit us at myspiritualevents.com.
My Spirit Life is a free online interactive magazine for those who have an interest in improving their spiritual lives. Authors can upload images, videos, and audio clips to their own articles. The public can place comments, rate the article, and follow the author. All articles are vetted before being published. For more information and to place your own article, please visit myspiritlife.co.uk.
MySpiritualDirectory.com is one of the fastest growing online free listing service. Our search directory offers geolocation feature, rating ability, review system, map location, customer comment, YouTube video, gallery, social media sharing, direct contact with the lister, simple online booking and payment system. It's free to register and use. It even creates your own mini web page, which you can update at any time, and yes, it's still free, no monthly or yearly fees. 100% free. Creates your own profile page. Add social media and other links. Add a mini gallery and a YouTube video. Rating, reviews and comments. Includes online booking and payments. So, if you're looking for a medium or a reader, even a church, maybe a healer, or any other spiritual service, then visit myspiritualdirectory.com.
Join Matt and Kirsty tonight from 8 p.m. The show consists of answering your spiritual questions and offering free mediumship and oracle card readings. On Tuesday afternoon from 1 p.m., Wendy Lindsay offers free spiritual readings and guidance using her crystal ball.
Yep. Hello, everybody.
Welcome back.
We are back. We was having a bit of a gas bag, having a bit of chat, but we are so glad to see you all back here joining us this Monday. It's still morning for 6 minutes.
Still morning, yes.
So do not forget to share, to like, to subscribe, and let the world know that SPtv is here. And of course, tonight, Matt and Kirsty,
yes,
back on the screens, 8 o'clock.
Yes.
Kath Hallworth.
Hi to
Hi to
both
you.
of you. Hi.
To you too.
What is-
So, you know, it's really quite exciting every morning to brighten my day and brighten everyone else's day.
love
To begin a Monday, to begin a week. If
Absolutely.
you believe that Monday starts the week off.
If you believe that, yeah. That's a whole nother story.
That's a whole nother subject, that Sunday's actually the first day of the week, because Saturday is the day of rest.
Yeah.
But there we go. In this day and age and in this life, you just take your rest when you can get it, love.
Even you've got 3 kids.
Absolutely. Right, now, the 3.2 billion years. So, the word for day in scripture does not mean day in the way we perceive it. It means a period of time. So there were 7
there is no such thing as
stages.
time and space in the spirit world.
Exactly. So it was 7 phases of time, and 7 phases of the process of creating the earth. But most people just believe that the word means day, but it didn't actually. It just meant a period of time. It can mean 1,000 million eons, whatever you want, depending on what the boiling process was. You know, we've all got stages of creating a cake, and so there we are. That's just a slightly sideways. So, however, it is still kind of tied in, because we are talking about the creation mythology, so I don't feel too bad about adding it in. Wendy Watson, it's 10 p.m. here in Victoria, so brighten your evening. In Australia,
we don't want to darken your doorstep, we do want to brighten your evening.
Absolutely.
I don't know really.
Fabulous.
If I'm honest.
We all work on inspiration, my love. We all work on inspiration. You know, even Richard popping in with the 3 point so many billion years of creation. It is a mythology that people talk about. Interestingly enough, just to add to that bit of
morning, Paul Smith.
Morning, Paul Smith. Doves and prayers. I think it's one. Peace and prayer. Peace and prayer. Peace and prayer. There is a particular, and I might have mentioned this before because I know what I'm like, but there is a particular organism that was around at the beginning of time. It was the only thing living in the ocean. When the skies were dark and black and horrible and had no atmosphere at all, and they ate carbon dioxide and they turned it into oxygen. And that process, this is scientific, by the way, that process caused the water to begin to rise up and mix and create oxygen and atmosphere and form clouds. And what better way of scientifically describing the separation of water from water to create a shell that wrapped around the earth, as in the water from water and creation of firmament. I do not believe that there is a big glass basin that used to be God's mixing bowl laying over the planet. But I do believe.
Take the plug out from the sea.
Yeah.
You've got to be careful.
Thunder. My dad always used to say that thunder. Oh, God's just kicked the teapot down the stairs again.
Oh Lord.
You know. That's another one. But yeah, if you look at the scientifics behind these various phases of creation, you actually end up finding that creation mythology is a very basic and very primordial way of actually describing these processes, because you know we didn't have all these various different, you know, quantum mechanical telescopic microtelescopes and all this, you know, electrotelescopes. Thank you. Making it up as we go along here, Nick. You know, so it's really quite fascinating to look at that. We might have that as a subject one day. We could even have a quantum physicist on to see.
Oh yes, absolutely. And that brings me, well, say hello to Kim in a moment. That brings me round very nicely, Nick. Thank you. We would like to have your views on different segments that we can have in our show, different topics, different bits of conversation, wouldn't we, Nick?
Yes.
Different ideas, different things that you would like to see on this show. Is there something you're particularly interested that perhaps we can get a specialist to come in and talk to us about? If there's something that you would like to see on this show, please let us know. And you just might get it. Your wish might be granted.
So whilst everyone's on and having a think about that thought, thoughts, segments like a magazine show. So we will probably have an overarching theme.
Yes.
So we'd have a guest on who'd sort of like sit on the sofa with us throughout the show, and dipping in with messages hither and thither, and then having other guests come and sit on the sofa with them to all collaborate on various different aspects. Yeah, well, I'm sure if I scooch over, I could, if somebody doesn't mind being really, really intimately cozy, you know, I mean, I'm quite close to Peanuts. He doesn't mind. We named him last week, you know, on Tuesday. So, you know, that kind of format where we bring various different themes in. Thoughts, people, your show. You are the ones who drive us and engender us.
We are here for you at the end of the day.
Exactly. So thoughts on that one, please.
Absolutely.
Now, you wanted to go back to Kim.
Kim Byrne, yes. She says, my brother is not a believer, even though three have a strong belief. When my middle brother, I've got brother coming through actually. When my middle brother passed suddenly, the screen has gone blank. Sorry, I can't see it at the moment.
When my middle brother passed suddenly, my non-believer brother's ovens at his chip shop kept turning up and burning his pies.
Oh gosh.
Wowzer.
Mine keeps going. My screen keeps going off. Sorry, Nick, you're going to have to read it if you can see it.
So she continues. He believes it was Scott turning his ovens up as they both worked in the shop. Wowzer! Right. Wowzer! And I based on what you said a moment ago, before actually your ability to read it was hacked off by fate, time, and whatever.
Yeah, I didn't get to see any of that.
I believe you were perceiving.
Yeah, well, I have a gentleman with me, and I feel like he's the middle son that passed. He's certainly not the oldest. I believe he's the middle son, and he is a real comedy. He's a real joker. He was like that in life, and his personality certainly hasn't changed. My screen keeps going blank. Sorry, I can't see. If you've written anything, I can't see anything.
If she says anything, I'll chip in with you.
Okay,
I'll be your vocaler.
Thank you very much. He was very much the comedy in the family as well. He had a way of making people smile, and being joyful. He was actually a great joy, and yes,
middle brother, very funny.
Thank you very much. He made your mum. He helped keep your mum happy. If I can say that, I think you will understand what I mean. He helped keep your mum's spirits up. That was very important. And he comes through, and he also flickers lights as well. There are lights that flicker. The oven, yes, but I want you to be aware of the lights. And there's also a chair, something happens with a chair as well. I can't tell you exactly what it is, but there's something that's specific that happens to a chair. And he has the most loveliest laugh, and he's a good looking boy. He's a good looking man. I would say he's attractive. But yeah, a lovely brother, a really lovely man.
Wonderful.
Yeah, with a wicked sense of humour.
Brilliant.
So that is definitely him.
I like how this is panning out. They're turning up all the way throughout. Yeah. It's excellent. It is excellent. And what a lovely message though to get that confirmation. And to get that confirmation, yes, middle brother. You know. It was wonderful. So thank you, Kim. And Kim says yes, he did. Yeah. So you know.
I want to also point out very much before we go. What's that? Sorry.
The chair that might be at my mum's, and he was very handsome.
Yeah, he's very handsome. I'm a woman. I know what handsome is.
I'm a man. I know what a handsome man looks like and all.
Exactly.
I don't get one in the mirror. I have to cover that up. There you go.
Exactly. There you go. And he wants to point out about his throat. Something happened in the throat. Well, I can see an Adam's apple, but obviously, but I can see it more. I'm noticing it more, and there's something in the throat. Something happened in the throat. Okay, but I will leave you there. He's incredibly happy, laughing. Yeah, great.
Brilliant.
Sorry, I'm just listening to Richard. Give me 2 seconds, everybody. Go for it, Richard. Oh gosh, right. Okay.
Yes, I
Okay,
shared
right.
that post the other
Thank
day.
you, Richard. There,
Yeah.
just for all of our knowledge, there has been some unscrupulous people going around claiming to be of SPtv, asking you to join their friend, be their friend, and they genuinely aren't. Do not subscribe to them. We are the only people, we're the only SPtv, and we will let you know through, you know, like and subscribe on our show. Do not be fooled. It's so easy for people to make up pages, isn't it, Nick?
Yes, it is. In actual fact, it's been done to. It's done, and this is the thing. People assume that someone's account's been hacked. No, it is so easy to do. All you've got to do is create a fake email, download a picture, and create a thing. And here's the problem. Oh, bless her. Thank you for that, Kim. I love it when they link like that. So yeah, it's really easy to do, but it's really hard to get rid of. Someone was pretending to be me.
Wow.
Inviting all of my friends to join them in my new account. And I put in a complaint about it, and was told that there was nothing that they could do because they weren't breaking any rules. And I'm like, but they're pretending to be me, you know, which is clearly stated under community standards. But still, that person has blocked me, so I can't see what they're up to. But they are still there because I occasionally log in from someone else's. I'm not going to say who in case they're spying on me.
No, of course.
But so there are idiots, unscrupulous people who think they're funny, people who think it's just a lark, and then there is the darker side. There are people who are deliberately trying to get something out of you. There is only one SPtv
people pretend to be stuff
account.
and they try to get money off me before. You know, it happens. It really happens. You always think it's not going to happen to me, and it does.
Yeah. And so Wendy Watson said, yes, I had a message off them, reported and blocked. Good. Perfect. Report and block.
Report it and block it.
There is only one SPtv. We say that all the time, but this is really important now. There is only one SPtv, and we will never ask you to add.
No, and we don't ask you for money.
And we certainly don't ask you for money. We suggest that you might like to spend 37 pence.
37p.
Yes, 37p on your VIP, but you deal with that. You click the button. We don't ask for it, other than to say it's a good idea.
It's not important for you to watch the show, to do anything.
No. So nothing legit would ever encourage you to do things that you might think. And remember, we're all spiritual folk. Inspiration and thought. If your heart sits there and goes, not sure about that, there's usually a reason why.
Gut feeling.
Natalie Bentley, yes, I reported
Rachel Galbraith
one a while ago, and Facebook came back and said there was nothing wrong. It's just
it is.
Catty said, wow, that's disgusting. I'm so sorry, Nick. Don't be sorry for me, because you know what? Actually, if people really think that I'm worthy of copying, you know what? Take it as a compliment that you must be doing something right. And whilst they're having a pop at me, they're leaving someone else alone. And they're, I've been very lucky in my life.
Way of thinking of it. Nick?
Yeah, you know, I've been extremely lucky in my life. I'm surrounded by people who care about me. I'm surrounded by people I care about. You know,
Yeah.
there's nobody in my life that I would think, oh, I wish they weren't in it. So which makes me very, very blessed and lucky.
Very blessed.
And you know what? All of these people, if something happens, they support me, they take care of me, they advise me, they give me guidance, you know, because I'm surrounded by, you know, one of the things about working in retail and employing young people. And Kerry Farmer, surely that's fraud. Yes, it is.
It is, but they
but
don't seem to
them-
recognise it. Yeah, and you can't
Tracking
get
them
hold of
down.
them.
And it is fraud. But you know
It's
what?
personating, absolutely. Of course, it's personating you.
Everyone knows that I don't like doing things that takes things away from people. So if they know me, they know me, and they know that I would never do anything like this person is trying to say. And do you know what? Invariably, they end up
It's
starting
defamation
a
of
conversation
character,
with,
isn't it?
I've seen your
What's this say? Stacey Shaw. Good luck trying to imitate Dawn and Nick and Richard. They are unique and can't be imitated. They broke the mold.
And this is the point. Catty,
Catty. Well, you can't blame them for using your image. You are very good looking. There you go, darling.
You know, when I've used the skin polish and the skin scraper and shaved, yeah, I probably look. I mean, a polyfiller, yeah. I'm gonna say my nan used to use oil of Ulay. Other products are available, but she used to.
Oh, I love how you said that.
She does. She did refer to it as her polyfiller. Other filling products for walls are available. And you know, I went last week and had a proper professional shave and you know, had the hair done and everything. So I suppose I scrub up all right, but you know, when the screen gets switched off and I take the collar out, everything just sinks about 3 inches. You know, because I'm 44 2 days before 3 days before Halloween. You know, I'll be 44 this year.
44.
Yeah, in October, just before Halloween. I always took great pleasure in the fact, though, that my sister is 9 years older than me. And her birthday is on Halloween. So for 9 years, she had the priority. But then I come along and snoop in 2 days before for the birthday and nick it off her.
Stacey Shaw says, just as well Dawn shaved this morning too. Just checking.
The tone has definitely. But is there any personal appearance? You're about. Oh, Kim, you are so sweet. You are so sweet.
See, it's all the love here at SPtv.
It is beautiful though. But yeah, 44, going strong. You know, there are many people my age that I went to school with that I have met over the years that were sporty types, and all of the, you know, the biceps have now dropped, you know, about 6 inches down, and kind of all congregated front, you know.
Well, Nick, let me tell you, I take my bra off and I'm 3 inches shorter.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. You know, I mean, I might not have a 6-pack, but I have got a barrel, so I can keep everybody going.
You've got a keg.
I've got a keg, you know. So, you know, at the end of the day,
Joanna, it's still a young chicken, Nick.
It's still absolutely. It's all gone very, very happy and joyful.
Yeah.
You
but
know,
this is what spirit love, though. They love all the positive energy to brighten your day.
Absolutely. Brighten your day, the SPtv way. And there's only one SPtv. So yes, please, friends, do keep an eye out for that whole situation. Sit on the serious note and just let everybody know that you know. I did share like last week when there was the original post come up. So if anybody wants to find it, it's on the SPtv Facebook page, my page as well, and I'm sure others. Share it. You know, share that.
Let people be aware.
Sake.
If anybody asks you for money, please don't do it. It's so easy to get fooled. Please don't.
There was a saying that was used very much in the 80s and 90s that still applies. Just say no. Free will. So, yes, there we are. Everyone is informed in the loop, and so we're just having a look to see if anyone else is drawing us, as I'm sure we frequently will. So I'm sure our producer, the wonderful, great voice in the ear, will flick through.
The voice in the air.
The
mysterious voice in the air.
Very
nice, but I put my hair up in a ponytail instead of facing.
I shouldn't have cut my hair so short, should I? I can't do that now.
Beautiful.
You look amazing. Yeah, you always look amazing. You always do. Yeah. And so we're having a. Yeah. Gonna say, if you're still with us, my saggy, face has not put you off. If my saggy face has not put you off, please put some hearts, some smileys, some flowers on, just to let us know you're here, so we can see your name. And you might draw us. You might draw us in. Yeah. So many one-liners.
I can make that barrel comment. I'll bet.
I get into.
Well, I'm just linking in at the moment as names going through. Sanders. Is it only me, Nick? I can only see half a picture when a person's picture comes up, and I can only see.
No, I can see the full one, but I have that sometimes because I've gone out of full screen mode. So
okay. Mind. Okay.
But it does happen from time to time.
It's strange. Okay, Spez is giving us a heart. Okay. Right. More hearts, please, people.
Keep letting us know you're
drawn to Wendy Watson.
Yes, I am. And I'm very much aware of a father figure coming through.
Thank you. Yes.
And he very, very formal to begin with, because he literally just stepped in quite majestically there. And there's a reason I use every word I use is important, but majestic. The way he majestically stepped in is very calming influence. But I also feel that sometimes this serious was a bit of a faux, fake, jokey way of behaving. Like that. The gracefulness, and he would ham it up and play it up a bit just for his audience, his family, his loved ones. But there was a certain seriousness about him, but he would play it up to just bring a bit of a giggle, because especially as he passed through time in his life, he would become a little bit lighter than he was in his younger days with all this seriousness. But he would, because he heard you lot talking about it. And that was where the joke side come in, because that was his way of putting it. I know that lot talking about me. And I do feel that was interesting because of the way my voice changed. I'm being inspired to notice that, and it doesn't happen very often. Very much slightly... Well, thank you. A gruffer voice than myself, a slightly more formal voice than myself, deeper, because I can feel the depth of tone descending on me. And he said, well, not all of us speak very nasally and high-pitched like you, Nick. But he said it with love, and I think he was one of these people that would have kind of like wanted to just test the water and see how much he could get away with people. And that would depend very much on how he progressed with that individual. So thank you, Wendy. Okay. So he's very much here, and I could tell by Dawn's expression that she was getting the same man here. Yes. I was going to say guy, but he instantly cut me off. I'm not a guy. I'm a man. Yes. And so there is a big joker. So thank you, Wendy. How are you doing? What have you got?
I feel very rounded and warm with this. Yes, it's her dad. Yeah. I feel very rounded and warm with this gentleman, not just emotionally but physically as well. And he does come across as being a very, when I say smart, elegant gentleman. Okay, he knew how to hold himself Yeah, and I have a really bad headache, awful headache, like slicing headache, and also like a comes from my stomach and into the throat. Yeah, and all and it starts. I don't know if there was some kind of cancerous condition, but something that flows through the body. Okay, it wasn't just one thing; it flowed through the body. And there is a hell of a lot of emotion, and I feel very sick as well. So there is great sickness. You're getting that as well, Nick?
I can truly confirm that, yes. And he's come through quite a few times.
I've actually got water in my mouth.
Yes, yes. And he's come through quite a bit to you, Wendy, not necessarily through SPtv, but various sittings and things, because he's a dab hand at this. He's a dab hand at this because the way he's getting things through, especially to both of us.
He brings your grandma through as well, as she comes. So really sweet little soul.
Yeah.
But he brings her with him as well.
Ooh.
Something wrong in my mouth as well. This all came. It was a whole
wave.
A whole wave of sickness. What's that? Yes, me. Yes, my dad. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Wendy. Oh dear.
Bad indigestion. He was a gentleman.
Yes, he was lovely. Thank you, Wendy. Thank you, Wendy. Oh God, it's really not very nice at all. There was also, I don't know if your nan had something wrong with her tongue or something. Whether she had like some sores on her tongue or white tongue. Is that
his mum Olive.
Olive, yeah, lovely. But she had problems with swallowing. I'm very aware of that. She's a dear soul, a really dear soul. There's something wrong. I don't want to say there was cancer of the mouth, but there's something going on there for her. Can you elaborate on that for me, Rich? Something with the as well.
I have to admit that the wave of pain stopped in my back with him, and I don't know. No. I've just caught up with you. I've just caught up with you. This change in posture. It's very much that. So Olive, you've given us her name. That's polite. Let's use it. Olive would have been slightly hunched, or there was something to do with her back up here. This hunching, because I'm feeling the top of my back and my shoulders lifting up and my head going down. So I feel that there towards the end of her life she would either shrunk a bit or the back would have gone up and the head would have gone down. But there's also this naughtiness about her. Because even though I feel that my movement is restricted, I can still see you. And there was this really slightly subtle and naughtiness about this. Wendy, I can still see you. And it's really quite
scary.
So, there is it was her sense of humor that was keeping my eye on you. And it's really such fun, this giddiness with her, to be able to still see you. And of course, thank you, my darling. She's got rid of the back now, because that was, of course, her reflecting her physical position. See, I don't have a back or a neck or a head now. I have a soul. And there was just the way she said soul, that I've got soul. Almost like she was going to lead into a song or something. But you know, this absolute lift of I've got my eye on you, I'm watching you, I'm loving you. That sounds like a song forming, so I don't know whether she likes to sing.
She must have liked to sing.
Because
she is quite melodic when she speaks.
Yes, this beat, this meter, this pace.
Yeah, I believe this is in the family, as well as her mother as well was very similar, the way she spoke. As she steps forward, she is chuckling. So now she's actually, I was going to say she's laughing, but her words, I was chuckling. Okay. And she gives me, I don't know if there was some red hair in the family. I know you've got like I think you'll forgive me if your hair's not dyed, but I feel there was some red hair going back, some auburn hair in the family as well. And as she's coming through, she's also giving me the teeth as well as the mouth. Okay, so there was something wrong here, some kind of problem. I can't pin it down exactly, but some problem. And the back of her neck was very painful as well. And she brings through. She was always singing, wonderful. She was always singing. She brings through, is it a spyglass or some kind of glass and mirror? She often used a nice sort of gold frame around it, something you could hold and look at, like a glass, mirror glass of some sort. And so that must be quite important. So forgive me, I think you have that. Oh, Nick's disappeared. Oh, you're back. He's back. You have that. And I want to quickly bring in that she is talking about another woman that's very important. I don't want to kill anybody, or I hate doing this, but I want to talk about your mum. Okay, she's talking about mum who needs support. It's very fragile in some way. And if she has passed a spirit, I'm not picking that up, but if she has passed a spirit, then this is a memory of how she was. Okay, and she's making me do this. So there is 4 of someone. I didn't even know I did that until I looked at the screen and saw myself doing it. There's 4 of someone. There's 4 sisters, 4. There is 4 as an important amount of people. Okay, so it's probably, I believe this is 4 siblings. Okay. If you understand that, please let us know. Oh, and who lost a finger?
This one come down. Somebody did.
Do you get that as well, Nick?
Yeah. Because when you were saying 4, I was thinking, but you've only got 3 fingers up, and they were masking one from
Yeah,
me.
I'll tell you what I was doing.
Yeah. But yeah, whilst Wendy's replying to that, I'd just like, Dad's just given me I'm giving you a drop-in. And I don't know whether this is Olive, this is Dad, or yourself, Wendy, or someone. But there's absolute. I've just been sitting here writing really posh. It's really lovely handwriting, calligraphy. She's just had me sit there writing the name Wendy, really, really fancy and swishy and beautiful, almost floral handwriting. So I don't know whether this would be yourself with Olive or with Dad, but this handwriting is gorgeous. And I was doodling.
Yes, I'm the 4th
sister. Wonderful.
So her mum has passed, and she is the 4th sister. Thank you very much. So 4th, lovely.
So whatever this calligraphy is, and this writing of your name, just there you go. I give it because that's what I got. Give what you get. I learn eventually.
I have the mirror. Wendy's got the mirror. Wonderful.
Has the mirror. Beautiful.
Lovely.
Beautiful.
You should also have a gold ring. I think it belonged to your mum. Okay, that's important. Sorry, Nick.
No, that was literally all he gave me. It was like, just mention the writing of your name, mention the writing, the calligraphy, the beautiful. It is very flowing and floral and scripty. They could have even created a font out of their handwriting, is what my guide just said. So so there we are. So I hope that was all right for you, Wendy Watson.
Thank you very much, Wendy.
Beautiful.
It's been fun.
It has. Now, friends, please get in touch with your thoughts about the format that we were talking about having various different guests in, thoughts on what subjects you might like to have, and segmenting the show into, little bits.
Stacey Shaw. I don't know if anyone can see it, but in the picture behind Dawn's head, I see a man in shadow form with army uniform dancing with a female in a long wedding dress, lace on top and satin skirt. This is the painting I
I do see certain. I'm always distracted by it, and actually, I see little things in there from time to time.
Well, there is the interesting. I do have quite a few paintings that I've done, and it'll be the amount of people that have said, "I can see this, I can see that." There is one in particular. I can take you over very quickly. Well,
take us for a tour, Dawn. Take us for a tour.
Use any mess. This is another one, but I won't show you that one. It's this one I wanted to show you.
Oh.
Patterns in clouds, and then it started to form into an angel. So please let us know if you see anything in these pictures.
Yeah, beauty.
That would be interesting.
Absolutely gorgeous. And Wendy, thank you so much for your confirmation. She was given a bangle by her parents with a name on it in floral with flowers on and fancy writing. So thank you so much for that confirmation.
Magnificent. Remember,
Wendy,
it's your show, so anything that you want in the show, let us know. Let us know.
And very much an interesting comment there. Matthew Lintott. Hope everyone is okay on this Mental Health Day.
Thank you for letting us know about that.
Which is, yeah, absolutely. And you know what? You know, it is very much in if there is a day or a week that is coming up that you want us to focus on when we're in it, you know, tell us about that too, because it would make it very current, very pertinent. And
absolutely, which is what we want for the show. We want it to be more like a magazine show. So we have all these lovely sections, and if like Nick's saying, if there is something that's important on that day that we can represent, let's do that as part of that day.
Absolutely. Katie said that's stunning. I can see that one clearly. She's your picture is beautiful. So I love it. I absolutely. You know, encaustic art, that's something we could consider if anyone's interested. I know a few people.
They're all forms of definition. So if anybody sees anything in these paintings, let us know. That'd be really interesting.
Absolutely. Wow.
Cool. Well, I think that kind of brings us up, doesn't it?
It does. Unfortunately, our time together this week, us, the SPtv family, has come to an end again, but it will continue. However...
let me just point this one. Annie McLaren says, I see a small row of horses in the last picture. Yeah, I know where you see
houses.
Oh, houses.
What is it with horses messing us up today?
I couldn't see that.
I had my horsey people.
I thought it was houses.
Yeah. So it's the ram moon, not the horse moon. So, you know, maybe it's the year of the horse or something. But we've definitely got horses on our mind today.
We have.
Who knows? Who knows? But who? Yes. So as I was saying, word of caution: we're not here next week.
Oh yes, I forgot to mention that to you guys. We are not here next week. Richard is off on his travels.
He's wandering hither and thither, to and fro, and so unfortunately, my friends, we will not be here next week. But
be here in spirit.
We will be back, and if you want to have influence on the format of this show, you've now got a fortnight to get it in. So, you know, get that influence in. It is as much your show as it is ours. We would... Let's face it, I know we could probably keep ourselves occupied, but if it was just the three of us sitting here talking to ourselves, it wouldn't be as much fun. For us, for you, for everyone, for those that are watching live, those that watch later, as I know there are so many that do. So, you know, get involved, make your thoughts heard, make your voices known. As I said earlier,
share.
Share, like, subscribe, consider VIP, and keep an eye out for frauds.
Yeah, please.
Block and report. So from me, certainly, have a wonderful week and another week after that. So a wonderful fortnight.
And it's goodbye from Nick, and it's goodbye from you.
And of course, don't forget Matt and Kirsty tonight.
8 o'clock.
Wonderful, wonderful show, 8 o'clock. And I believe Deb's on tomorrow as well again, 8 o'clock. Wendy
Yeah, don't forget
Wendy is on tomorrow morning, afternoon/morning afternoon.
Woo!
And so it's going to be amazing. There's so much to do. Look at the schedule on the website, look at the Facebook for notifications, and just have a blessed week, my friends. And
God bless. Go and finish your ironing, Diane.
Go and finish your ironing. Yes. Beautiful. Thank you, Diane. Wonderful.
Good. And thank you for all your lovely comments. Lots of people coming through
saying
so good. Oh, Martin V, a bit V. Spend strength, extra self-care for yourself, and do check some guided meditations. Look into a rose quartz and blue lace agate for yourself. Oh, thank you very much, Martine. Bless you. Bless you.
Well, friends, it's time for us to go and plot and plan for our next show.
Yes.
Influence us, seriously.
Yeah. Let us know all your thoughts. Okay.
Bless you.
Take care, everyone. Lots of love. God bless. Thank you very much to everyone. Healing, light, and love.
God bless you all.
Keep it SPT.
Bye.